Welcome to the SHPE de ASU show. We're happy to have you all here. As you can see, Leslie has taken a little bit of a leave, a little break. So it's a Friday. It's been a long week. So first things first, before we even start, let's just take a moment to relax. I have my Starbucks here. I'm going to take a nice drink. We all need this moment to, hello, Leslie, to just, relax and take a drink of our nice beverage. Okay, well, welcome to the show now. So this is our episode 2 today. What does that mean? We're going to be going into Hispanic art and culture because it's Hispanic Heritage Month. So we really want to see what we can explore. So what we're going to start off with is a little what do you call it, Leslie? A little warm up. Okay. So in this warm up, it's a mental and physical warm up. First, we're going to warm up our brains. So in the spirit of art, we are going to have music in our brains. So think of the song that has been most recently stuck in your brain and you can never get it out. Now let that song play through you. I'm already thinking of my song. My song is Happy by Pharrell. I cannot get that song out of me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to embrace it. Okay, Leslie, what's your song?
Never Gonna Give You Up.
That's a great song to have in your brain. I don't know. Okay, so next, let's think about painting. What do you do with painting? You use your arms, your fingers, your hands, your eyes. So what we're gonna do is a little warm up. So just think about strokes. Just give your hand a little bop. Leslie, why aren't you bopping with me? There you go.
See my camera.
There you go. Okay. And then now give side strokes. Okay, with the other hand now. All right. Is there any other warm up you want to do, Leslie?
I like to crack my fingers.
Okay. Well, I like to protect my, whatever they're called. So I will not be joining you on that.
Hi, Joseline.
Hello,
Hi.
Joseline. Welcome to the SHPE de ASU show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. I was trying to join with my computer, but I don't know why my camera's not working, so I'm on my phone.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are sure excited to have you with us. Leslie, were you going to say something? Were you going to say something?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to introduce Joseline because maybe some people...
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Joseline. If she'd like to introduce herself a little bit better.
Yeah, are we... I think, is it just the two of us right now?
Right now, there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys want to wait a little bit to see if more people come, and then I can...
Oh, I'm sorry, we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, you
right
are?
Now, so there's
oh my
people
gosh.
there's people watching. Don't you worry.
Oh, okay. So yeah, hi everyone. My name is Joseline. I am a SHPE de ASU alumni. So I graduated last May, and I graduated with a bachelor's in BME, and I was SHPE de ASU president from 2018 to 2019. So before Sadiq, and I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you.
Okay, so our topic today is, as you know, art and culture. So can you tell us a little bit about, say, your qualifications or your just experience in general?
Like with art?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I studied, so I went to high school here and in Mexico. So I was kind of like, yeah. So I did freshman and sophomore year here, and then I moved to Mexico and I did like a year and a half over there. And then I came back. And then so before I left Mexico, I was actually so I was in the IB program. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, International Baccalaureate. Okay. So they made us choose kind of like a topic and kind of like a extracurricular activity. And I decided freshman year that I wanted to do photography. And I got into digital photography. And I did that for 1 year. And then I got super bored of it because I was like, the teacher was really not doing anything extra. I feel like everything he was teaching, like I already knew. So I was like, oh my God, this is really boring. So my friend and I decided to switch after freshman year and go into art. So I took art classes for sophomore year. And then in Mexico, I went to Mexico, and then I didn't take any art classes there, but I practiced art. I took like my black book with me, which is, if you guys are not familiar, I'll show you. Hold on, I have it right here. So this was my art book. Oh, it's a little bit hard to see, but this is what the class consisted of. So it wasn't like just learning how to paint, not just the techniques, but I really had to research the artist, research like the reasons why they painted or they drew or they did sculpture. So every time I had to make a piece, I had to research at least 3 different artists and how to research the technique. So it wasn't just like, oh, you paint like this. Like it was actually learning the history and like the purpose, and it made me really think about what I wanted to do. So a lot of my pieces actually represented something with nature. So I started painting in graphite. I love painting portraits in graphite. And then I moved on to doing nature pictures. So I would go on hikes in high school. I was in the hiking club. So I would take a photograph of like a lake or something cool that I saw, and I would try to represent that in a painting. So when I moved to Mexico for high school, I stopped taking art classes there, but I did take my black book, and I would see different plants and different scenery. So I started painting that over there. So when I came back and continued my art education here, I kind of took that inspiration from what I saw in Sinaloa, and I just kept on drawing more and more like flowers. I think flowers is like probably my favorite thing to paint, just because I love the colors and I just think they're beautiful, and it's just like a theme that I have all over my house. If you guys come to my house, like it's everywhere. Actually, let me show you guys real quick. So this is my cap for my graduation. So as you can see, a lot of flowers. So I made this one myself. And then this is one of the paintings that I did after I came back from Mexico. It was my first time doing like watercolors. So it's a little weird, but my inspiration for this one is actually my aunt that I lived with. She had this plant like right outside her house. So I remember taking a picture and thinking it was really, really pretty and interesting, and I've never seen it here in the US. So when I came back, like that's the first thing that I wanted to paint. So I think it just has to do a lot with me remembering where I came from and admiring nature, and just representing that in paintings. So yeah, I did it. I mean, that's kind of like where my qualifications stop. After I graduated high school, I had I had like a senior painting expo. So we presented all of our pieces from the years that we took the class, and it was nice. Like people walked around, we had parents and stuff. I sold a few of my pieces, and I kept some. Some of them are hanging around my house, and some of them are like I give away to friends. And after that, I haven't really painted that often. I think after you stop taking a class, it kind of becomes like whenever inspiration comes to me, right? So I try to just have all of my painting supplies ready. Whenever I feel like inspired to do something, I just go to my table where I have all of my supplies and I just start painting. But definitely it's not like it's not very often that I've done it. I just have to wait until the inspiration comes.
So you mentioned a little bit about how like, you know, you had to like research artists and everything. Were there any like artists that like you really liked and remembered?
I think like Dali, I really like the way he just like his surrealistic drawings and paintings, like that really always tripped me up. I don't know if you guys are familiar. I don't know if I have him here in this one, but I think I was looking up like modernism, and he was one of the artists that I researched along with like Picasso, and it was just so trippy. I don't know. I just really liked it. I think finding like the rest of his pieces, because a lot of people are just familiar with the one with the clocks that are like melting everywhere, but there are some like really interesting pieces that he has that are not as like mainstream. So I think it was always interesting, every artist that I would research, finding like the not so famous pieces, like Picasso, for example. Like he has really cool portraits that are not, like if you Google Picasso, you're not going to really see it there. You have to kind of dig deeper, and they're just really interesting. And I remember I did do a piece, I don't know if I have it on my book, but I did do a piece kind of like combining Picasso and Dali. It was just like a modern piece. So I took like my face and I used, I play with textures. So I used a lot of different block colors and a mixture of medium that, so you put the medium like a paste and it dries up, and then you paint over that so that there's like a lot of texture. Like the painting was really, really heavy. And it was just kind of like my face, but it was just very surrealistic. You know, like my eyes were completely different, you know, different colors. Chunks of my face were different colors. So that one was really fun. I really like abstract stuff. Like if you mix reality with that, you know. I did start off painting and drawing realistic stuff. So I would draw faces that look like actual faces, like photographs. But then once I started learning different techniques, I'm like, wow, I really want to make, you know, maybe like a flower come out of like an eye or something like that. It just, I don't know, just playing with your imagination, whatever comes to mind. Hearts and stuff, hearts and flowers were like my favorite thing to do. So heart, flower, faces, anything with nature. Those were like my favorite symbols that I like to use. I think because if you think of flowers, like you think of growth, you think of heart, you think of like passion and life. So I did do a few pieces where like the heart was the root, and then you had the like a flower stemming from it, like a rose. So that was actually one of my favorite pieces. And one time during high school, they had this program where at the Phoenix Art Museum. I'm not sure if you guys have been there. I definitely recommend it. If you've never been to the art museum, it's like an amazing experience. That used to be like my hangout every Wednesday after 3 p.m. I believe it was free. I'm not sure if it's free still, but every first Friday, every Wednesday after 3 p.m. That was like my thing, and like my friends would go there and just like hang out. And so they had this thing where like they showcase our paintings there. Well, they had like a separate room, like right in the art museum, but like in a separate gallery. And so they put our paintings, and they were there for like a month. So it was actually really cool to just think that like my painting was there. And I don't know if I have a picture. I took a picture. I don't know if like I need to look for it, but yeah, that painting actually sold it to someone. And then weird thing, I saw that person like years later after I sold it to that person. I saw them at a party, and I was like, wait, like I remember you. And then she's like, wait, really? And I'm like, yeah, you bought one of my paintings. She's like, oh my God, I still have it. She's like, I framed it. And like, I'm like, wow, it's been like, I don't know, like 7 years since since I gave that to her. So yeah, this is like one of the pieces. Well, not really a piece, but this would be like a brainstorming. So this was me kind of trying out what I wanted to do. So it's like painted the heart, and then so this is just on here. It's just acrylic And I think I first used graphite, I believe. Yeah, graphite first, and then I painted over that. So it's kind of like I don't know. It's just playing with the colors, just make things pop out. So it was a lot of that, honestly, during my high school days.
Do you do do you use art and painting as a way to kind of, or let's see how I'm trying to say, during college, do you use it kind of as an outlet by any chance?
Well, during college, I had my paints and my brushes and stuff, but I never really found the time to really sit down. I think the way I paint is like I have to sit down for several hours.
Yeah.
And sometimes with some pieces, depending on like the medium that I'm using, I just want to finish it in one day, like in one sitting. And so it's like, sometimes, with like engineering, it was impossible to achieve that. So I wouldn't really do that, like actual pieces like painting, but I did do some drawings, a lot of like sketches and stuff. It really did relax me. Like in the middle of doing my homework, I would just, draw a little box in the corner of my notebook and just kind of start sketching, like sketching an eye, or like imagining like a scene and just kind of painting like a little cottage in the woods. That was actually something that I would always paint or like sketch out in my notebook. Just like a little cottage and just imagining a little stream in there. And I'm like, I just really want to go there right now instead of doing this like House 3 homework. But yeah, I wish I would have used art more as an outlet during college. I feel like it would have helped a lot more. It's just, I don't know. I think it was just like a matter of me thinking that if I got into art, like if I started doing projects, then maybe I would have like not done my homework or not, I don't know, just maybe neglected other things. But if anybody is interested in using that as a coping thing for stress, or just, letting your imagination just kind of exercise your imagination, I would suggest you can just get like a cheap like little sketchbook and like a small one, and you can just have that and doodle, take a little break while you're doing homework and doodle for 10 minutes and just doodle whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Some people really enjoy doing those, like buying those little books that you just color in, like
Although just the
yeah,
like coloring books.
yeah, like a coloring book, but like for adults, like the ones that are really intricate. I bought a few of those, but I would always lose them or something. But yeah, but I think a lot of people would probably like those. It's something quick that you can do. You can just use your color pencil or color pens and highlighters to just fill it in. It really relaxes you, makes you step away from thinking about homework and whatever's stressing you. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, my freshman year, like in high school, I always messed around a little bit with art, with like projects here and there. And then my freshman year, I was just like, I'm just gonna, focus on engineering, like not do any of that. And I didn't, like art was always like a thing that relaxed me. And I was just, able to talk through like whatever I was doing, just like I did a lot of digital art. That was my thing. So I would just, hop on my computer and like put things around. So then freshman year, I didn't do that. So it was like, especially towards the end of the year, it was like really stressful and like I couldn't really get it out until like the summer after freshman year. That's when I had like a lot of free time. So I was just kind of going crazy with all my designs and everything. So I definitely agree with that.
So are you the one that does like the faceless drawings of the members? Like I always wonder who that was.
That's our webmaster, Viviana. She does all of that.
Okay.
And she's really amazing at it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because when you mentioned digital art, I was like, damn, that's actually really cool. But that's really, yeah, I think like in high school and I guess also in college, a form of art that I would do is videos. So I'm really into photography. Not so much as like an artistic sense, but more like a memory, makes me remember exactly what happened that day. I have a really photographic memory, I would say. I can look at a picture and like imagine, like just remember everything that happened that day, and then just remember like the smells and the feelings and stuff. So I've always been that person in my group of friends who like takes a bunch of pictures and also does like slideshows, little videos. So even in high school, like I'm gonna age myself, but I remember I was like in oh my gosh, I just completely forgot. What was the thing that came before Facebook?
MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace.
You
So I
forgot.
remember I had a Facebook. It was like, yeah, I was like in 2009 when I was like a freshman. And I was that person that would upload like a video every week or so. Like I would just record my friends in high school, like just walking around with my little camera, and then just record them, make a weird video, like edit it in like the weirdest way, like add all like the weird filters and make them like change colors and stuff. Um, and then so I don't know. I mean, I guess in my head it was very interesting, and then it just like made everybody um I don't know. It was kind of like, it was just kind of fun to watch it. We would talk about it during school. We're like, oh yeah, like I watched a video, and then we would laugh about it. And even now, like I have some of those saved, and it's just like, I'm just like, oh, they're super cringy. Like they're on private on Facebook, but they're just really fun. And I guess now that I think about it, that is kind of like a form of art if you see it as like, making like memories of your life. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I
you
think
just look at that, you reflect and stuff, and that's basically what art is. Like it makes you reflect and think deeper than what you would without it.
yeah, I think that's what I like about art. Like it's not really specific to one thing. Um, a lot of people interpret art and do different kinds of art.
Hmm.
So I would definitely consider that art. I think dancing is also a form, and also graphic designing. I think it's not just specific to painting because every time someone mentions art, they automatically think of painting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, I think anything that you can create and that you put like passion into it, it's art. Even if it's not art for other people, like I consider things art. Like literally anything. I made like necklaces. If I make yeah, I mean, you can consider like makeup, makeup is art. Anything that just really like you put work into it and just proud of it. I don't know. That's how I see it. Um, I don't, I don't really, I guess after you take like a lot of like researching all of those different artists, perhaps during their time, they would probably have people saying like, that's not art. I know there's an artist who like just has like a toilet. I forgot his name. I can't think of his name right now. But his art piece was like a toilet, and it was like just just a representation of I don't know. It was just symbolic for something, and people didn't understand. But they made people think. So like it became very famous, and it sold for a ton of money, and he became very famous with that piece. So it's like it just really made people think about what it meant and like why was it there. And there's so many pieces now, like the banana taped to the wall, that just make people go like, what is that? You know what I mean?
I think
I don't
that's
know. I mean, yeah, it's just like a lot of things. I've seen at the art museum, I've seen like candy just thrown on the ground, and that's like that's an installation. But yeah, I think after just researching a lot of artists and just understanding that, you just kind of learn not to judge or not to put like labels on it. Like art is literally, there's really not like definition. I mean, you can put it into like different styles of art, like abstract or digital or things like that, but I think no one really has that authority to really say like this is an art. I feel like it literally just takes one person to believe that it's art for it to be art. And I mean, if the artist thinks it's art, then it's art.
Mhm.
Very true.
Mhm.
Okay, Leslie, do you have your stuff with you right now?
I do. Let's pass it up.
Okay, cool. Well, we came prepared. Jocelyn, if you would be our teacher, we have some canvases that we're going to be drawing, or no, painting on. And Leslie and I, like, as I said, I'm more on the digital side. And I don't know what Leslie's experience with painting is, but from our talks, it seems like, she's also a little bit, unexperienced. So if you could, guide us through the processes and like, some of your specific styles and whatnot. So first off,
I would say, I mean, do you guys want me to like do step by step or just kind of tell you like, oh, this is how you do it? Like step one, you like prime the canvas, or first of all, what kind of medium are you using? Is it acrylic? Probably.
yes, acrylic paint
Acrylic
set.
painting. Oh, okay. And you have that, Leslie? Okay.
Yes, I do.
Man, I should have brought like my own little thing. I can bring my paints. I don't know, like what do you guys like? What makes you happy? Like if you close your eyes and you go to your happy place, is there something that comes to mind mostly every time? Like for some people it's like smells, some people it's like colors, textures. Do you have something in particular?
Um, I think for me it's more of like people that come to mind when thinking about like happiness, because I just think of my family, um, and like just like little moments that people tend to forget about.
Okay. So people, is it like the time that you spend with them? Is it the conversations, the things you do together? Can you narrow it down?
I think more of like the time that we spend together, kind of like activities we do, just like talking about little things that don't really matter in the broad spectrum, or like in your entire life don't really matter, but it's just the presence of having someone there that you care about. I think that's what kind of brings me happiness.
So when you think about those people that you love and happiness and what they make you feel, do you associate any colors with that?
I want to
Like,
say maybe some like warm tone colors for sure. Something like a very light pink comes up for some reason.
yeah, I think usually people associate warmth and happiness with like light colors like yellow, pastels, like very soft. That's actually like color theory is actually a huge thing that a lot of marketing uses. For example, yellow makes you hungry and it makes you happy. So that's why McDonald's and Snapchat and stuff, they have yellow logos. Blue is like calm. That's why like Facebook uses it and stuff. It just calms you down. A lot of nurseries, like they'll paint the walls blue because it calms the babies down. Red is usually associated more with like anger and passion, maybe violence sometimes, because you think of like blood, you think of things that happen in nature that are naturally red, right? Like roses for passion and love and violence and stuff. Yellow, I mean, you think of the sun, and for some reason it makes you hungry. I don't know. Pinks, I mean, natural things that you see that are pink are like flowers, you know. And usually you think of flowers, they're just happy and beautiful. So that, yeah, so if those people, like when you think of the happy place and the happy people, that the people that make you happy, and you think of pink, so then if you want to incorporate that into the piece, I don't know if you can do something, I don't know, let me think. I mean, I don't know, I like doing abstract pieces where you just put different colors in there. I don't know, have you guys tried doing, Oh my gosh, I just got an idea. Okay. Oh man, I should have, we have to do like a part 2, man. I have this thing that's called, let me go get it. It's downstairs. It's this thing that I bought for acrylic painting that you put it in acrylic and it makes it like runny, and you can do pours. So you pick a bunch of colors and you just kind of pour it in on the canvas, and then you just like move the canvas a little bit and it creates like an abstract thing. Maybe I can do it for you guys. What you guys think of like what you guys want to do. So what about you, Christian? What makes you happy? Like what makes you relaxed or excited?
Something that always relaxes me is like the sunset, and like, you know, like the sunset colors, especially like the Arizona sunset colors. Those are the ones that I really like love to see, like the pink and blue. That's always something that I really like to just visualize personally. So yeah, that's one of the things at least. I have
so for
a
that you can yeah, so for that you would need if you look into your color palette, you would need, let's see, yellow. So yeah, the colors of the rainbow, I think you can do a little bit of that. So when you think of a sunset, it's like on the horizon it's going to be yellow, and it goes from yellow to orange to maybe purple or blue or purple. Yeah, so horizon, yellow underneath, and then the sun, you can maybe use a little bit of white. And I mean, since we are in Arizona, you can do like a little cactus in the back, just, or like a few cacti, so they have friends or something like that.
I like that idea.
I'm going to get my my stuff from my storage room. And I think like when COVID gets a little better, I have like a ton of supplies that if anybody's interested, like we can do like an in-person thing like next year or something.
For
so
sure.
that everybody can do like their pieces. Yeah.
So everyone who's watching right now, I'm wondering, what are your guys' experiences with art? If you can answer in the chat. And it can be like any kind of art, not specifically painting. You know, a lot of things count as art. You know, we have a lot of dancers. I feel like dancing is considered a form of art.
I know Leslie and I were talking earlier, and we also mentioned music is art. I always like it's. I was telling Leslie about this, that whenever like I like to, you know, make digital art, and like that's my preferred method of like, you know, sharing art. But like in terms of like taking in and like experiencing other people's art, I always like to think of like music. I enjoy it just because like it kind of, like, you can listen to it and really just take it in.
Sorry, I don't know if I'm gonna say it right, but Lemary said that she just transitioned to digital. I have this app on my iPad called it's called Procreate, I think, and it's a really, really nice app. I think I paid like $10 for it, and there's so many things you can do. Like you can even, I feel like, do some things that you would do like in Photoshop on there, or like just simple basic things. You can do that on there. You can just manipulate whatever you decide to create. And then Juan also said that he took some classes in high school, but nothing past that.
Oh yes, I took I also took high school art classes. I took art 1 and art 2. And then that's where I learned like a bunch of methods. Like I forget what they're even called. I remember I put them up there in our little document of like things to think about.
Yeah.
But there's like, the ones where you go like, I can't even explain them now.
Alexa said that the way to express art is through film, that they make short music videos and enjoy dancing as well and love to teach it. Makeup was a way of art as well as fashion. There's so many, I feel like a lot of people use art as their hobbies and they don't really realize it's art, because I feel like all of that can be considered art. Makeup, fashion, everything, anything you design, kind of like Jocelyn mentioned earlier. Christopher said that he's taking 2 art classes right now, and he likes to gesture draw the most.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. What does that mean, Christopher?
Tell us what, I'm kind of curious.
Maybe that's like those little flip books, the ones that have like 100 pages.
Oh, I made one of those like in elementary school, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever, but it probably wasn't.
That was probably my most experience with actual some sort of drawing or painting. Those little flip books.
I remember there was one summer where I did like 3 like series of a minute long vlogs. So like there were 3 of like the 1 minutes. And I thought it was super cool, but it was just like so much work to like actually like cut it up and like place it where I wanted it. And it was fun, but like I was like, oh, that's a lot.
It's a lot of work.
So a lot of respect to the people who do that, or like the short films and everything.
Very true. Alexa mentioned that they're slowly taking up painting on canvases.
Mm-hmm.
In between canvases. And then Ulysses said that when he was little, he used to draw whatever came to mind. So like SpongeBob, he would just draw SpongeBob out. I think characters are fun to draw because they're kind of art, especially 2D characters. Because when you're I feel like trying to draw something is harder if you don't have an image of it. So that can be really fun to start. Daniel said that he's taking an art class right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he did his speed sketching class at ASU second semester.
Ooh, interesting.
Have you guys heard of the live painters at like weddings? They take, instead of a photograph, they have a painter there that kind of captures a moment in their head and then paints it all out. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it's really, really neat.
I've never heard of that, but that sounds kind of cool. Is it like, do you know if like they have people stand there, or if it's just like there's the painter there and like everyone's like moving around freely and they're just kind of
the painter's just there and they're just kind of capturing for the perfect moment to draw out. They kind of capture the image in their head and then paint it out. So I think that's really nice form of art.
Really cool.
Okay, I am back. I'm in like my, hope this works. Sorry, it's gonna be a little bit loud for a second. So, might not work. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna mute it so I don't like.
Oh, Christopher ended up answering. He said that it's illustration through the form of model and pose of a figure. It also denotes art through something in action. So, for example, drawing a car moving. Oh, okay. That seems hard. I can barely even draw a car standing still. So I feel like drawing a car moving is very hard.
And wait, by model, Christopher, do you mean like a physical model? Because I know like Aaron, one of the members here at SHPE, he like has like some like life models of like people. that he can kind of like, you know, mess around with to kind of get the proportions right and like visualize how a person would move. So is it like that? Wait, Leslie, what's your like favorite form of art? Like just in general.
When I was younger, like in middle school, I used to use Photoshop a lot and Illustrator. I took a class during high school too. I think that was my form of art at the time, but I kind of just completely stopped after that class in high school. I don't know why, I just stopped doing it. And I was actually thinking about it while we were thinking of this to go back into it because it was something really fun. It took a long time, but it made time pass so fast because I was enjoying what I was doing. But I think recently, I would say dancing is definitely one of them because I don't know, it's just art with your body, and I love looking at it, and I love dancing, specifically Latin dancing. Like I'm taking a salsa class right now. Last semester, I remember, I don't know if anybody else, but we used to go to the Deuce every single Thursday, and I did not know how to dance salsa, but I was very slowly learning because everyone was teaching me. And then I was like, let me take this. I need to take this class so that I can show up next time we go and actually know how to dance and not trip over everyone that was trying to teach me.
Yes.
But yeah, that's definitely one of the most recent ones. It relaxed me a lot. Christopher answered. He said it's what tripping over my words. It's what makes me keep doing it. In some cases, but it usually is what forms the basis for creating human sculptures.
Okay, that makes sense. That's pretty cool.
That is really cool. I respect people who have painting as their, or like painting or drawing as their hobby because that is very hard.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's easy to get discouraged when you see so many amazing paintings. At least that's for me. Like you think right off the bat you're supposed to be amazing at it, so it's very hard to kind of keep on going and increase your skills.
I definitely agree. Yeah, because my closest friends in high school, like they had been doing they're the reason I got into like digital art, and they'd been doing it like a long time before I had, and like they've been like actually like, you know, kind of learning things while I was kind of just messing around and figuring it out on my own. So like literally after like I finished like a piece, I would always like look at like their stuff for inspiration and then like do my own. And after every single one, I'm like, this looks terrible. But I was like always proud. It was a weird sensation because I was always proud of like what I made, but I was like, it looks terrible. Like, because I always compare it to like their stuff, which is like super great. It looks amazing. But it's really interesting. I wonder if like anyone else, sometimes I wonder if like they have the same experiences, if they're like looking up to someone else and they're like, oh man, this is trash compared to them.
I know. You know Alex, right?
Yeah.
So Alex, if someone who's watching doesn't know her, she was an e-board member last year, and she's an artist. She likes to paint. And I remember she was like, no, I don't want you to look at my painting because it's ugly. And I'm just like, or I don't know exactly what, but she said she didn't want me to see it, or like she was like, oh, it's not that good. And then I saw it and I was like, man, this is really good. Like if I tried drawing this, it would end up being like 2 lines and 1 circle.
I love her little paintings. They're so cute. Like
I bought one actually, the little tiny ones.
Yeah. They're so freaking cute.
Yeah. But
And she does a lot of stuff. Like I know she does like commissions for shoes, like Converse shoes, and make them look like a galaxy.
yeah, it's really interesting how art, like artists basically, kind of look at their work, even though it might be good to someone who's completely new to learning about art.
Mhm.
This is really cool. So this is actually, you guys are gonna see me try this for the first time. I got this from Amazon. It's called Floetrol or whatever. I don't know if you can see it, but it's it just helps like the paint roll a little bit better. So I added a few drops of paint and I'm just mixing it, and then we're just gonna try just throwing that on there and like pray for my carpet. But this is cool. It's like it's sunk to the bottom and you just mix it and it's gonna turn like really purple in a second. So what did you decide on doing?
I think I'm going to do a moment that not a lot of people, kind of like a pause on a moment, and I'm gonna draw kind of like a table and do the cafecito with the pan dulce.
Oh, that's
Because
good.
I feel like a lot of conversation happens that I don't even remember, but I just remember family, drinking coffee, eating some bomb bread. It feels weird calling it bread, but pan dulce, and just having conversations about the little things, just like the feeling.
Yeah, and then like even just you describing that, I can smell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can just smell like well, I don't drink coffee, but for me it would be like hot chocolate. Yeah. Or like chai. Yeah, something like that.
I remember I started drinking coffee, not like intensely, but the first time I drank coffee, I was like, I think I was like 7 years old, 6 or 7 years old. I thought I was really young now that I look back at it, but they were like, here, just have some cafecito. And they would also give me las galletas Maria, do you guys know the one in the orange packet?
Yeah.
My family would give me that in the morning with coffee.
Did you ever have oh, they're so good. Did you ever have the ones that are like in the shape of a flower and they taste like vanilla?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I remember the ones though with the marshmallow on there.
Oh my god, yeah. Arcoiris, right?
I forgot the name, but yeah. I kind of liked them, but I kind of wasn't a big fan because I wasn't a big fan of like marshmallows.
Yeah, I remember it used to come with like a strawberry sauce. And then when I went back to Mexico as a teenager, I discovered they didn't include the sauce packet. And that made me really upset. Because that's like the whole reason. You just bought it and you just get a little sauce packet and you just, draw like a little flower on it, like the center of the flower. So I was pretty sad.
Okay. So while Jocelyn is also demonstrating. So right now, are you kind of just mixing colors to get the shade that you want?
No, I just added these. These are just like basic colors that I had, just acrylic. This is the first time that I try this. I've seen videos of it. So you have this mix with the Floetrol. Oh, geez. Okay. And then I'm just gonna mix like carefully on top of each other. Hopefully that works. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if this is gonna work, but and then we're just gonna throw this onto the canvas and just like hopefully the colors don't mix. So
Oh,
we'll
I
see.
see what you're doing.
Yeah, kind of like marble nails, but with paint.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've also seen that where people like sometimes at festivals they kind of put their hand in there. It's wax, and then once
oh yeah.
it's really cool.
Yeah, you can do this with nail polish as well. It's just I've tried it before with nail polish, and like you dip your finger in there, but it just doesn't work for me. Like I get the paint all over my fingers. You're supposed to use some sort of like latex thing around your finger so that you can just remove it and the polish only goes into your nail.
Okay, so everyone's gonna witness me painting for the first time. I think ever. I don't think I've ever used acrylic paints.
I think with acrylic is it's like a good medium just because it dries and then you can always paint over it. I like it. I think the hardest one that I found the hardest is oil, just because I have no patience. And with oil, like it takes days to dry, especially if you have a lot of texture. So it's crazy.
Christopher said that it reminds him of spinning art. Me
Oh
too.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
I've also seen those videos where people have, I don't know if you guys have seen it. I've seen it on TikTok.
Yeah.
They have like this tray that's on kind of a swing, and they have a whole bunch of paint kind of spread out, and
Oh
they kind
yeah,
of just
in a bucket.
let it fall. Yeah, they just let it fall on there, and they create
Yeah.
really, really pretty pieces that you wouldn't expect that would come out, you know.
And that's actually, I mean, if you're like into math, that's like shapes that you talk about in math class. Like the like when you're talking about like fourth derivatives, I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like they just look like those kind of shapes that you can probably find the area or whatever.
This is how you know that we're all engineers, because we're mentioning math when it comes to something creative.
And honestly, engineering, I think it's pretty artistic. A lot of people say like, oh, if you're an engineer, you probably can't paint or draw, or like are probably not good at art because they think art is like the opposite of being good at math. But it's really not. You really need to be super imaginative to go into engineering, you know? Like
That's
if you're
true,
just, yeah.
I feel like a lot of people wouldn't expect it, but a lot of people that go into a difficult STEM degree, they end up being actually very, very artistic. I didn't realize that, honestly, until last year, my first year of college. There's so many people that have so many hobbies, and like playing music, painting, dancing. I think it's kind of the same thing now that you mention it. I'm trying to.
No, it's good
conceptualize.
to be that. It's
Does it
like
mean-
you're exercising. Oh, sorry, it's cutting off.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just saying like it's exercising a part of your brain that it is necessary for your engineering skills, you know? Like when you do math and physics, you're exercising a portion of your brain that's about logic and things like that. But with art, it's like any form of art that you're part of, it really exercises like creativity and just I guess in a form like being impulsive, but like in a good way. I think like you don't have to measure things. I mean, some people do art by measuring and they have to do like perfect lines and stuff, but usually art is just like whatever comes to you, and you're practicing and you're exercising that part of your brain. And when it comes to actually doing engineering, especially design, you really need that because you want to create things that are beautiful, especially if you're making, like for example, if you want to go into automotive engineering, you want to create beautiful cars that also work. You can't just create something that works but looks ugly and it's not appealing to the eye. So you have to understand design in that sense. And to understand design, you really have to understand like visuals and color theory and things like that, and shapes, and how everything can affect like a person's reaction to that product. And I don't know, I mean, as engineers, I feel like a lot of engineers, I don't really get to see that design portion unless you go into that. Like they get to see, they get to design like the inside, right? And then they have other types of engineers or designers to design the outside of a car, for example. But it would be cool as an engineer to be able to do any step, even design.
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of creativity to make something. It takes a lot of creativity and intelligence to make something very complicated simple to anybody, that they can just know right away what you're supposed to do, if that makes sense. Like, what's that term? Human-centered designing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so scared, you guys.
Oh, it's coming out.
Oh man, the colors are kind of mixing, but I should have probably done this in my bathroom. It's okay. I'll take it to the bathroom in a second. I'm just gonna do it straight on here. I'm doing it in my vanity because I was like, oh, it's good lighting in here. But there's carpet right underneath me, so I'm just like a little scared.
We are at the 5-minute mark, just so you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
All right, I'm gonna shake this so I can show it before this ends. Hold on. Ooh. Let's just drop everything. Let's just go for it. Come on.
I'm not sure if everyone can see, but I'm in the middle of drawing a concha. It just looks like blob right now, but
It's coming out.
the process, trust the process.
Yeah, this looks a little bit different than what I thought it was gonna be. Maybe because I think next time, what I'm gonna do is just put it straight into here instead of putting into a cup first. Okay, I'm just gonna shake it. Ah. Oh yeah, a little tip, if you're working with acrylic, you need to wash the brushes like immediately after you're done. Because they will get hard and it'll ruin your brushes and just, I don't know. Just gonna move it. Oh, and then I also brought these. I have these are little flakes that I got from Amazon. I was gonna add some like gold flakes. I'm actually really into this is like gold, or it's like rose gold. I don't know if it looks good with the colors that I chose, but I'll add some flakes on there.
Oh,
Just gonna move this around.
that looks really cool. Are you not scared of dropping all that paint?
Oh, I think for next time, you guys see this part right here? It kind of reminds me of the ocean. Like if I had chosen blue instead of yellow, like if this was white, it would have looked like this is like the ocean waves. I don't know if you guys can see it. They kind of break. Yeah. Oh, that would be kind of cool. I think I'm gonna try that next time.
So what does everyone think of my concha? Whoever's
Very
watching.
well
Right
done.
The fall needs to come, like the actual fall weather, so I could start having an excuse to like eat that every night. I'm ready. I went to my storage today and just pulled out all of the like mugs and stuff for winter. I'm super excited.
All right. That's gonna be the final product, I guess. It looks more like a turtle, but I like to think it's a concha.
And then you're gonna add the below coffee mug, or like a few coffee mugs to like represent your family.
So
we're gonna do little swirls.
That looks very, very nice.
That does
Jocelyn.
look very nice.
So you guys get to see this first time. Also, it's, yeah, so that thing that I added to the paint really makes it like really flowy. It's my first time that I tried it. Yeah, it works pretty well. It makes it really shiny. I don't know, it's probably gonna take like days to dry because it's like super thick. But the colors don't really mix. They just, which is what I like.
It's now 6 o'clock. And I just want to say to everyone watching, thank you so much for joining in. I liked hearing about all the kinds of art you guys do. I think it's really interesting to, it's like a different side that we all have.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice learning that about someone. So thank you for sharing. But yeah, this is my form of art. That's all I'm gonna get from physical art. But who knows? Maybe if I try digital again, it'll actually turn out nice.
This is super messy. I love it.
Here's what I have. I didn't make much progress, but you know, I tried. We'll see if we can, you know, polish her up later on. But you know, it's somewhat of a start. Oof, that paint is dripping. But
Oh
yeah.
Not on my carpet, thank God. And I'm wearing white, but it's okay. That's why my recommendations, if you ever try art with painting, like wear some old t-shirt. It's kind of hard to get paint out of your clothes and your carpet and stuff. But it's really fun, honestly. Like art is literally like engineering, like trial and error, you know? It's like not a perfect thing. You get to do whatever you want, honestly. And if it looks good to you, then that's what matters, honestly. It's just have fun. Okay, it looks a little.
I think that's the perfect ending point for all of us.
Yeah.
So
Hope
goodbye, everyone
has a great
watching.
weekend. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it.
Bye, everyone.
Okay.